trying to homeschool multiple kids without complete and utter chaos, wondering how in the world to tackle family subjects without everyone losing their minds, I've got 4 kids, and today I am sharing how we tackle family subjects and geography in a simple way that keeps mostly everyone on the same page. Welcome back, friends. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I am a homeschooling mama to 4 kiddos, ages 13 all the way down to 10 months, and we are entering our 4th year of homeschooling. I've shared before, we were doing a mostly open and go curriculum using mostly the good and the beautiful, and we've recently made the transition over to fully Charlotte Mason using Ambleside Online. I got a few questions asking how do we do our family subjects and geography with Ambleside Online. So I thought I'd make a video kind of sharing what we do and walk you guys through what a typical morning looks like for us doing all of our family subjects. So my kids are currently doing years 4, 5, and 6, and they don't necessarily correspond with their actual grade levels. The only one doing his grade level is my year 4. He is going into 4th grade, and I decided to place him in year 4. My year 5 and 6, they are going into grades 7 and 8. Since this is our first year using Ambleside Online, I based their years off of what I felt that they can handle. If you're familiar with Ambleside Online and you took a peek at their schedule, there is a very noticeable jump between year 6 and year 7. And personally, I just felt like my kids were not ready for such a big task, especially since this is our first year doing fully Charlotte Mason and with all the independent readings that they have to do. So I chose to keep them in year 5 and 6, which so far I think is working beautifully with us. So with multiple kids in different years, I've noticed that there are a lot of the subjects that worked beautifully as family subjects. So I'm going to share with you guys which ones I've decided for us to do together as a family and how we are doing them. So the first one that we start off with is our Bible time. This is the heart of our morning. It's what sets the mood for the rest of our day. I start us off by doing our hymn study, and we are currently using the Hymns Volume 2 from the Daily Grace Co. I usually just have our hymn playing while the kids are having their breakfast, and they listen to me read the background story on that hymn, and then we answer some of the questions on here together as a family. Then we move into our actual Bible study, and we are using the Family Bible Library from Southwestern Advantage. I've shared a few times about this series. I will link it below. I am obsessed with it. It is really so good, and personally, I have learned so much from it, especially being so new in my walk personally, and it's just really good. I'm saying even as an adult, you can learn so much from it. And I will link the video where I did a mini little walkthrough of this series if that's something you're interested in. I also added in our recitation into our Bible time. We are currently doing Joshua 24, 14, 15, and I have all 3 of my kids doing the same verse. We're trying to do things as simple as possible in the season that I am in right now with having a little one joining us for our morning time. So it's just easier to have everyone be on the same page. So we do this after we read our Bible, and then depending on how much time we have left, we will listen to a story from the Biggest Bible Story book, which is beautiful, and this is a favorite from all of my kids. They're all so into it, mainly because of the illustrations and I will link this one too, again, if you are interested. It is beautiful and we all love it. So for the next three, it's all about working smarter and not harder. We tend to look at something, feel very overwhelmed, and tend to overcomplicate things when it can be done in the most simplest way while still being really effective. So the first one is our composer study. Now for this one, all we do is I have the music playing in the background, either during our breakfast time or quiet time, during read aloud, and they are taking that music in, and then we will go over the composer either at the end of the week or in the beginning of the week. We'll go over the biography, the names of the different music, and we'll do a deep dive once a week, again, either at the beginning or at the end. And we kind of do the same thing with our artist study. So for the artist study, I have printed out a photo from this term's artist onto their checklist booklet, and each of my kids has a different artwork for each of their booklets. So what we do is that once a week we will focus on one of their booklets. We'll just look at it, talk about it. We'll talk about the artist again once a week, either at the beginning or at the end of the week, and we'll just have a quick little discussion. What do you see in the picture? We'll also have the kids draw it during like a tea time thing that we do. That's also something that we do once a week. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You can make it something beautiful, meaningful, while still keeping it very minimal and simple. Same thing with poetry. So I know that Ambleside Online, they have a specific artist for poetry that they'll change out every term, I believe. We're doing things a little bit differently. I have this book that I found at the library. It's called Poems That Touch the Heart, and I will just open it up and read a poem from here. Some of the poems have a little biography to go with them so the kids can learn about the artist that way. It doesn't take much time. It's a super quick read, maybe 3 minutes tops. But I did include 2 poems from Emily Dickinson into their booklet, and sometimes I will rotate between them using the poem as their recitation or doing the Bible verse. My 2 older kids, they are also doing for their copy work. I bought them a book off of Amazon for their cursive, which is a bunch of Bible verses. So when we can double up on things, that is a win-win for me. So sometimes I will have them read the poem back to me that they copied, just to 1, make sure that they're able to read the cursive on there, and 2, to check off that box that we got our poetry done for the day. Next is our nature study. It's honestly one of my favorites, and it's so simple to do. We just go outside and enjoy nature. We'll either go to the lake, which isn't that far from us, or we'll go on a few different hikes. Again, I love to just be able to double up on things, so we will include our crafts or our artist studies when we go to our nature walks. We'll bring our little drawing book, and the kids love to just be able to look at their surroundings and draw what they see. And again, it's just so relaxing and such a change of scenery that we love. And yeah, it's one of our favorites to do, and again, it's so simple and so gentle and something that doesn't even feel like you're doing school. The other thing that we do family style is our grammar. I'm honestly not sure what year it is that Ambleside Online recommends formal grammar lessons, but either way, we do it a little bit differently. Like I said, we do it family style. And the 2 things that I use for our grammar are Fix It Grammar and All Things Fun and Fascinating. They are both from IEW. I also do our spelling together, and it's also from IEW. We are doing phonetic zoo this year, and so far it's working really good. I'm excited to see the progress. That is something that we are just starting and trying it out, so I will keep you updated on how I feel about phonetic zoo and doing the spelling with all 3 of my kids. But yeah, for Fix It Grammar, super simple. All I do is I put up our sentence for the day. I put it up on our chalkboard that we have in our kitchen. And after they're done listening to the hymn or while we're doing our read aloud, honestly, whenever they have time during our morning time, they work on that sentence. And then once we get all of our readings done, our readings that we do together, we go over the sentence, and they love it because it's very interactive. They do it on their own first in their notebook, but then when we go over it, I have a different chalk for each of the errors that they have to fix, and I just pick one of them to go and fix the things up on the board. So again, it makes it very interactive, and I do think it makes a difference doing it family style because it makes it a little bit more fun, and they're all learning, especially my little guy. He's picking up on things that my older ones are working on. So I just love being able to do this all together. And all things fun and fascinating, I was doing it every day before we started using Ambleside Online, since I want to be able to fully take in the whole Charlotte Mason philosophy. I am pulling back a little bit on how we are incorporating all things fun and fascinating right now, since it's still the summertime and we're slowly easing into our full-blown curriculum for the year. We're only doing this once a week, mainly because we started this earlier in the year and I kind of want us to be able to finish it. And the kids honestly like it because there's some silly stories in here that they get to create. So it's been something fun and something that I don't really want to drop yet. So we just we pulled back a little bit and we're doing it once a week. For geography, we are changing things up on how we do geography. So my year 4, he is doing the recommended reading that they have on his schedule for Ambleside Online. However, my year 5 and 6, they are not doing the required readings, and that is mainly because I'm changing things for us to be able to do it family style, and I will show you just how I plan to do things, and hopefully it works out for us. My plan is for us to do a different state each week, and we are starting with Mississippi, mainly because my year 4 is doing the required reading. He is reading Men of Mississippi, so we're able to tie in his book while learning about the state. And these are some of the books that we are using for geography right now. We are using the 50 states book. We are using our maps book, and this one I found at the library book sale that they had, and it is called Our 50 States, and it has so much information on here and beautiful artwork to go along with it. So this one is a gem that I'm so excited to add into our geography. And we also have our magnetic map, which I believe we got it at Target a few years back, and you can pull off the states. So how we are doing it is we have a separate book for geography. So they have a separate book for geography, and I have them draw out the state. My kids decided to pull the state off of the map, and literally they just traced the state on there while I read from our book. I read some of the facts on the state, and they jot down some of it and draw a picture to go along with it. So that's the first thing that we do. We introduce the state by looking at our map. They trace it into their book. They listen to some of the facts and they jot it down in their geography notebook. Then how do we tie it into what they're doing with Ambleside Online is that we go into our Min of Mississippi. It's about the turtle who he's traveling down the Mississippi River. So we go into the book and try to see where Min is at the moment. So that is how we are doing our geography. Oh, we're also going to be making a mud pie this weekend because it is one of the national foods of Mississippi. So that's another fun thing that we're adding in there too. If there's a national food on there, my kids love to eat. They love to try new recipes. So they requested that we try to make the mud pie. So we are going to be doing that this weekend. I will let you guys know how that goes. Never had one before. If you have, let me know in the comments what do you think about mud pies, because we're going to be trying it this weekend. So once we are done with Mississippi, my plan is for us to then move on into the 13 colonies, because that is what my older two are learning about in their history. So I'm still tying in their readings from Ambleside Online to go with their geography. The reason why I'm doing it this way, again, it's easier for me to keep track of their map work when we're able to do it all together. Again, we tend to overcomplicate things, and if you are following the schedule to a T, then that's fine too. By all means, do what works for you. I like to find things that we can do together just because I still don't want to get rid of that piece of our homeschool. That's one of my favorite things for us to do things as a family. So if there's some subjects that I can pull away from their independent work for us to be able to incorporate it as a family, I'm going to do that, because that's just one of the things that works for our homeschool, and geography was a fun way for us to be able to do that. And we also look up different YouTube videos to learn more about the state. And yeah, that's how we're doing geography right now. We are 1 week in. We just started Mississippi and we're loving it so far. So it's another thing that I would keep you guys updated on how it works for us. Oh, and the other thing that we do together as a family is our read aloud. We were reading The Night War, which has to do with the Holocaust. However, I did decide to pause it just because I feel like my little guy, I think it's a little too heavy for him. So I did decide to pause this for now. We're actually going to pick it back up next year, because really the only one that's learning about the Holocaust right now is my year 6. She's the only one that's reading anything that has to do with the Holocaust. So I decided to switch it out. We're not doing this one right now. We're gonna bring it back in next year. I decided to switch it out and do Free Water instead, which has to do with slavery. And this one makes more sense. It ties into what all 3 of my kids are reading right now. They're all touching at least a little bit on slavery. So it makes sense that our read aloud ties into what they're all learning about in their history. So we are reading Free Water right now. We just started it this week, and honestly I think that my kids are more into this one than they were The Night War. I think that it's more age appropriate for all 3 of them, and yeah, even I'm loving it right now. So we're doing this book for our read aloud. The other thing is Answering the Cry to Freedom. So this is a required reading for all 3 of them. However, my year 4 is the only one where it starts from the very beginning of the book. My year 5 and 6, it picks off somewhere in the middle. And this is one where I would like them to get the whole entire book. So I do add this into our morning time whenever it's on my year 4 schedule that he has to read a certain story from there. I will do it as a read aloud. That way my year 5 and 6 are not missing out on any of those stories from the beginning of the book. They're able, by the time my year 4 is done, they're able to get all of the missing readings that they had. And I will most likely continue next year. And actually, I was going to say that I'm planning on reading when my year 4 goes into year 5. I will probably still do this as a read aloud, but I think I'm not going to do that because by then my year 5 has already read those stories. So we'll see. But either way, this is one that we are reading parts of it as a family. And the last thing that we are doing together, family style, is foreign language. I believe that year 4 is when you start Latin. However, we are putting a pause on Latin for now. Instead, we are doing Spanish. And here's the reason why. Spanish is our native tongue. However, and please, 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 please do not attack me in the comments. My children understand it, but they don't speak it. And something that people don't talk much about is that it is really hard to teach a second language, even if it's your native tongue, when you don't have anyone else around you speaking it. So me and my husband, yes, when we grew up, we only spoke Spanish at home because we didn't have any other choice. My parents didn't speak English, so of course that was our first language before we went to school. After we learned English, we only spoke Spanish to our parents and our family members, like our aunts. We spoke English with everyone else, our friends, our family, like my cousins, my brother. We spoke English with each other. So me and my husband, we mainly only speak English with each other. And once we moved away from our family, we're prior military, so we moved away from our families very young. That kind of got cut off because we weren't speaking Spanish with anyone else. We didn't have our family to speak the language with, and you can say it was out of laziness, but when you are going through so many other things, honestly, trying to teach a second language was not a top priority on my list of survival. So yes, there is some guilt that Spanish is my native language and my kids don't speak it. So if we are going to be learning another language, it's going to be our native language first. So what we are doing for Spanish, we are doing a YouTube course. What they do on there is that it plays a story for you 3 times. The first time it plays the story, it has the story in Spanish. It translates it for you, and then it has the subtitles on the bottom. And you're only supposed to listen to it the first time. The second time, it plays the story again. This time it pauses for you to be able to repeat each sentence in the story after they say it. And then the third time, it doesn't have the translations and you're only supposed to just listen to it. And then at the end, it has comprehension questions for you to answer. So we are walking through that. We listen to 1 story a week, or at least until my kids can recite the whole story on their own without making too many mistakes. And it also has additional questions and worksheets that you can purchase if you want to. So if you're looking for something to do for foreign language that is essentially free because the only thing that you pay for is the worksheet and that is optional, that's an option that you can do. So if you're doing Spanish, I will link the YouTube that we are listening to right now. And yeah, that is what we are doing for foreign language. So I hope that you found this video helpful, that you were able to gain something from it. Let me know in the comments, how do you tackle family subjects? Are you changing some things around from what's actually set in stone in the curriculum? If so, what are those things? Is this your first year homeschooling? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely love having these conversations and just getting to know you. If you have not done so already, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps again to grow my channel and for us to stay connected. Make sure you hit the little notification bell so you're notified whenever a new video comes out. I try my best to put one out at least once a week. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye everyone.